I'm from outer space, I got Milky Way for blood, evolution in my veins. I'm gone, I've been far away, I'm illuminated now, make a move, start a wave. All I wanna say is that they don't really care about us. All I wanna say is that they don't really care about us. Honestly, of this illusion, I am not really here, I'm an intrusion. I don't swim or sink, I just flow. I don't need gravity, I just need growth. All I wanna see is that they don't really care about us.
In 1988, a catastrophic event wiped out humanity, causing the universe to reset and rebuild reality. It went unnoticed by the public. The theory states that this event fractured the timeline, which gave birth to the Mandela effect. The Mandela effect comes from the 1988 anomaly theory. People are experiencing inconsistencies with their memories because they're recalling fragments of their memories from the pre-1988 timeline. And this is also why the resurgence of the 1980s nostalgia. All the movies seem to be geared towards the 1980s. The 80s toys are in toy stores now. What is up with that? It's because of the 1988 anomaly theory. It's consistent with another theory that every 12 years something major happens to cause another timeline reset. 12 years after 1988, we had the year 2000, when Y2K caused another timeline reset. The next cycle was the Mayan calendar and the birth of the everyone is dead theory. 12 years after that is now 2024. Are we ready for another timeline reset?
Alright, this isn't one of my normal videos, but this is something wild, so let's talk about it. It's a 1988 anomaly theory. So here's the gist. Some people believe that something happened in 1988 that caused a shift in reality. Think of it like a glitch in the Matrix. They say it's why certain memories, events, or even how we perceive things feels off. For example, have you ever felt like time is moving way faster than it should? Or that certain events from the past don't align with how you remember them? AKA all the Mandela effects. According to this theory, 1988 is when this shift supposedly started. The idea is that this year marked a point of change, and some speculate that it was related to a major advancement in technology. Others think it's tied to global energy shifts, and then there's those who go full sci-fi and suggest parallel universes emerging. Now, is there any hard evidence of this? Of course there's not. What makes this theory fun and a little unsettling is that it taps into that weird feeling we all get sometimes, like something is just different. And I know we all feel that way sometimes. So what do you think? Could 1988 have been the year reality changed? Or is it just one of those internet rabbit holes? Let me know your thoughts. And hey, I guess if we're living in a glitch, at least we're all in it together, right?
Have you guys heard about the 1988 anomaly theory or the reset theory? Okay, I came across this theory, I want to say probably about 2 years ago, and it was on here on TikTok. I had never heard of this before, but it makes so much sense and it blew my freaking mind. So you know how a lot of people believe that in 2012, that was when we basically all the world ended and we're done and we just were knocked into another timeline. Well, actually, there's this group called the Anomaly Truthers, and they believe that that actually happened in 1988. So in 1988, there was this huge cataclysmic event that completely destroyed our original timeline, totally fractured it, and knocked us off into some other timeline. But we just don't remember it happening. According to the Anomaly Truthers, the event was so traumatic that it's just out of our minds. So since our timeline was fractured in 1988, that's where the Mandela effect came from. And that's why we have these memories. All of us have these memories of things being different. And also, this is why we're so attached to the 80s. Even people who weren't born in the 80s are like, oh man, I kind of wish I lived in the 80s. It was a different time. It was a great time. In 1988, I was 12? So now they go on to say that every 12 years since then, we get another cataclysmic event that knocks us off of our timeline. And that's why these specific dates seem so crazy to us. So from 1988, 12 years from that is the year 2000, Y2K. Now we know that everyone thought that as soon as year 2000 hit, that the world was gonna end, that there was gonna be this destruction and chaos. Now the theory is that that did happen, we just don't remember. But we do have these feelings that it was a really weird year. Okay, now 12 years after that is when? 2012, which we all knew was a very strange year. Like everything changed and felt different. In fact, 2012 was right around the time that I started to wake up from the religion that I was in and knew that I wasn't supposed to be there, that something was off, something was wrong, but everything seemed different. That was also the year that I learned about CERN. And I remember the day that they were going to turn on the Large Hadron Collider. Anyway, so according to these anomaly truthers, 2012 also was another cataclysmic event that pushed us into another timeline. The next 12 years we have is from 2012 to 2024. And the start of that year is supposed to have put us onto a whole other timeline, which is strange because when you think about it, a lot of us talked about how things just felt off. Something didn't feel right about this year. A lot of heaviness, a lot of dread. And there were a lot of things that happened in 2024. So apparently we got knocked off of our timeline at the beginning of 2024. But every time there is this cataclysmic event, like I said, they believe that it was so traumatic and so horrible, but it's been knocked out of our memory. We don't remember it. But there's still some weird connection that we have to those years. Now, there isn't like a whole ton of information on it, but if you look it up on Rumble, if you look it up on YouTube, a couple of videos will come up. And like I said, I learned about this maybe 2 years ago on TikTok here, and I planned on doing a video about it, but I totally forgot. But just watch this.
In the year 1988, a strange phenomenon swept across the globe, one that went unnoticed by the public but caused ripples through the fabric of reality. It was the year humanity faced an unrecorded extinction, and everything we know today is built on the echoes of that lost world. A small group of internet theorists, known as the Anomaly Truthers, believed that in 1988, a catastrophic event erased humanity. This event was so devastating that it caused a reset in the timeline, a glitch that the universe itself scrambled to fix. They claim this is why so many people experience the Mandela effect, because our collective consciousness is trying to reconcile the inconsistencies between pre- and post-1988 realities. The surge in 80s nostalgia isn't just cultural, it's a subconscious effort by those who lived through the anomaly to remember the lost world. This is why new generations, even those born decades later, feel an inexplicable connection to the 80s. They're resonating with the echoes of a past that's imprinted on the human psyche. What if our 80s nostalgia and moments of deja vu are more than whims of the mind, but whispers of a forgotten past?
I've watched that now so many times and it makes me super emotional every time I watch it. So every 12 years, our timeline collapses and we carry the trauma from it. We hold on to these remnants of that time. And I guess we always get these timeline shifts, but the collapses are different. Now, I'm not gonna sit here and say that I know everything about the timeline shifts and the timeline collapsing and timeline jumping. There are plenty of other people on here who know way more about that. I read a lot about it, I watch a lot of videos on them, but I'm not an expert. So don't come for me, this is not my thought. But this whole thing just totally blew my mind because it just makes sense to me. So what do you guys think? Do you think that that's a possibility? Do you think that our timeline was completely fractured and set us off into a different trajectory in 1988? And that's why we have these Mandela effects. That's why we have these feelings of longing for that time. Listen, the way things are going, the weirdness that we've lived in for so long, I do not put anything past that. I don't believe that anything is normal anymore. It hasn't been for a very long time. So I'm dying to know what you guys think. Let me know in the comments. What do you think about this theory? I also need to find out more about these anomaly truthers. I'm gonna see if I can do some more research on them. I've looked up stuff on them, but not a lot comes up. So that's also interesting. But you know what to do. Let me know what you think in the comments.